What did she do?
Exactly.
Was she
And
popping
you know what?
off?
Well, honestly, you smack your woman, she ain't gonna be fucking everybody else, huh?
Where'd she go?
She walked on the street, cut
She's gonna
up.
go call the
she's
cops.
gonna
Gonna go tell.
So we're talking about beating women.
Go ahead, continue on that, brother. Or you got a step, huh?
Yeah, I go.
Go ahead.
But hey, a few years ago they talk about lynching a nigger. It's just custom.
And you-
a few years ago, if you beat your wife, she's your wife, so you got to put her in subjection. But now in 2017, it's such a new concept that if a woman gets hit for going out of fucking order, oh, we must be the bad guys.
Hey, there used to be a law actually in Colorado, that Capitol building right there.
You could take your wife to the steps and beat her on it. She fucking did something.
It's a
wrong.
law. It's on
That's a
Sunday.
law in South Carolina.
Yeah. You beat your woman on the state court. You know, on the state
If
court.
she's going off, you can beat her. It's still a lot of.
And that's a lot of stairs.
They haven't taken it
Hey,
out.
she better hope it's not the top
What
of
if
the
you throw her
stairs.
down the stairs? It's still in the law.
Oh, you want to fuck other men? Let's go to the Capitol.
Why does the woman take the last name of the man? It shows ownership.
That's right, man.
I named my son because it's supposed to belong to me, and most of the time, most men name their son after themselves.
Done. And at the end of the day, man, all these women in Babylon are defiled anyway. You know,
Yeah.
you might have yourself something that's, you know, good enough or whatever, but you know,
Yeah, they're all destroyed.
yeah.
So why would I waste my time beating something that ain't gonna work? It's like literally beating a
And
dead
nowadays,
horse.
that's why it
You'll end
says
up- you'll end
cover
up
the
locked up,
faces
man.
of the judges, because there is a righteous time to put your hands on your woman. But you know what? They'll put you in jail for domestic violence. So that's how they also cover the faces of the judges.
But if she hits you, that's not DV.
No, she'll hit you and bite herself, and then you'll get it. Go ahead, brother.
Isaiah chapter 14, verse 1. For the Lord will have mercy on Jacob and will yet choose Israel and set them in their own land, and the strangers shall be joined with them, and they shall cleave to the house of Jacob. And the people shall take them and bring them to their place.
Yeah, Jacob being the forefather of the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans.
God.
Salaki, he was a drive-by.
And the people shall take them and bring them to their place, and the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of the Lord for servants and handmaids.
So just like I said, we have to have slaves, man. There has to be somebody to build up the kingdom. Go ahead.
And they shall take them captives, whose captives they were, and they shall rule over their oppressors.
Yep, that's right. And that done. So that's that righteous recompense.
Finally sneaks you away.
But she didn't win.
You didn't win nothing.
You didn't know?
Go ahead, brother.
She got the pussy. When you got the pussy, you always win.
And it shall come to pass in that day that the Lord shall give thee rest from thy sorrow and from thy fear and from the hard bondage wherein thou was made to serve. Thou shalt take up this proverb against the king of Babylon and
The
say,
king of Babylon being the so-called the heads of America. Go ahead.
Just like some dead.
how hath the oppressor ceased? How is the golden city ceased?
All right, this golden city is at its cease. That golden crown on their Capitol building there, that thing is at a cease. The ending of this place has been written.
The elders were talking about how I believe it was the elders, I heard it on this morning, how America's already destroyed in other dimensions. Because it happens in the spirit realm and before it happens in the physical realm. So America's already destroyed. It's already done. It's finished. Yeah. All you guys do is carry out physically.
Yeah, because like I said, it was written in the foundation of the earth.
It was done before it even existed.
done, exactly.
Yeah, it's just like when they say a person dies inside, but they're still walking. I can still live.
That's how these people know. That's why they hate us, really. They hate. Oh my goodness. That's why you see people running.
That's what that was about.
Close their ears and run. Stop. Ignorance is bliss.
Or did that look back like this?
I'm trying to enjoy my tomorrow.
No, Trump is going to save us. We're all going to have a chicken in the pot. We're all going to have a small little 3-bedroom house.
We're all gonna have a slave in the field.
Yeah, we're all going to have one boy, one girl, a white picket fence.
So you're admitting that you're plagiarizing.
My slave is going to be black. My president is white. Well, guess what? It's not going to be like that much longer. The slaves are going to be white.
That's right. And they can be running like that.
And your king is going to be black.
You should have got him.
Yeah. He's
And why do you think Edomites red? Have you ever noticed? I don't ever see Jake running.
That's why I wanted to get
You know why Edomites run? It's the spirit. They're getting ready to run from the 144,000. Yeah.
Them 2/3 be running just as fast, around 1,000.
Yeah.
It was funny the way he ran though. It was like,
just
like his body was before he was. That's how they're gonna be running in the kingdom. It was like the sit down when the elders were breaking up the shell shock that was happening in World War I, and these Edomites would be sitting there like,
Yeah.
and that's he said they'd be having shell shock in the kingdom just like that. That says to meditate terror on your enemy for the things that they did, and that's exactly what that is. They'll take captives whose captives they were. Go ahead, brother.
The Lord hath broken the staff of the wicked and the scepter of the rulers.
There you go. The scepter of the rulers. Pursuant to the book of Sirach tells you that be not slack, or the Lord is not slack, that he's gonna strip the scepter from the rulers and give it unto his people Israel.
That's every nation. Every land.
No. If you say you're African, you gotta say which nation you're from. Because there's over 150 countries. So there's no Africans.
Well, I mean, when I say African,
Yeah,
I
no,
know
he
he
was
was
a
from-
Negro. The so-called Negro. The reason I say Negro is that's the name that was put on the so-called African Americans. But they were actually the tribe of Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. Originally, all these tribes were so-called Negro, black. But mixing throughout the captivities, we all lost our color. Yeah, but we all originally go back to the one man named Israel.
Really, what he's getting down to is there's a difference between your so-called, what people would call African here in America, and an actual African.
You can
All right,
actually
because
see it.
yeah, you can see it when someone's standing next to somebody straight from South Africa over here. You can see the difference. You know what I mean? You see somebody.
LeBron James.
Yeah.
Luol Deng compared to LeBron James when they both play for the Heat. Luol Deng has a higher cheek structure. It's more a sunken face. LeBron's more filled out. It's a stronger jaw. And Luol Deng doesn't fill out like LeBron.
The scripture.
They're not the same people.
No.
But they're both dark skinned.
Or like an Arab next to a Mexican.
Yeah.
You know, they look similar, but you can tell through the soul is not the same.
Yeah.
Yeah. And in fact, scholars, Edomite, Caucasian scholars, in the Compact Bible Dictionary, it actually says under Ham that they were the father of the dark race, but not the Negro. Because when they sold you to slavery, they didn't put African, they put Negro. Yeah. Only now do they call you African American or
That's why they
Afro-American.
say Africans sold Africans into slavery, but really Africans were selling Israelites. The book of Luke, it has the account in history.
Are you guys Israelites?
Yes, we are. So
GMS, Great Muslim.
the book of Luke has the account where the Israelites living over there in Israel at the time were actually, the majority of them were all so-called Negroes. They fled to the west, and biblically they would always flee to the west when something happened, right? I mean, a lot of them got captured up and ended up in the Colosseums, Roman Colosseums and stuff, but most of them went into West Africa.
That's the mountain.
And that's
of
where they
Judah.
came from.
That's the mountains.
Actually, there's a city. There was a city in West Africa, and where they were grabbing most of the slaves, and I forget what that word meant. What the city was actually called.
I understand, obviously, that Jesus is white because to call him white, that's ignorant because when Jesus was born, that was many, many years ago before America was here. And from our understanding of white and black, it's kind of Americanized or even Britain. But that's not accurate because that wasn't a thing.
Well, all the names have been changed.
Yeah, but I'm just still saying, like,
Yeah.
Jesus obviously would
Jesus,
be fair skinned.
It could not be Jesus either because Jay's only 300 to 500 years old, roughly.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he was around 1,983 years ago.
Yeah.
So how could his name have been Jesus?
Yeah.
Second, he was a Hebrew, not a Greek.
Yeah.
So he would have had a Hebrew name,
Yeah.
not a Greek name.
What do you guys call him?
Yahweh Shai, you got his name on that card that we just gave.
Like, we don't
His
watch
Father and his.
Yahweh is the Father, he who exists. Ba'asham in the name, Yahweh Shai, he who saves. Because, you know, a father names his son after himself, Yahweh, Yahweh Shai. His name is in his son's name.
Let me get this scripture for you with that name. This is Acts 4:12. It says, "Neither is there salvation in any other, for there is one name, or there is none other name under heaven given among men whereby we must be saved."
So if you got the wrong name, you're literally playing Russian roulette.
Yeah.
If you're when this judgment comes and you're Jesus Christ,
But that's not my name.
that ain't my name.
Yeah.
What, if your name was Simon and I called you Mary, would you even look? Because why would you relate to it?
And some
Yeah.
people might try to say, we had some people come over here the other week, and they were actually trying to say that the Lord hears everybody's voice, no matter what they say. And they don't say Jesus, they just say Christ. And I told them, I was like, well, man, you guys got Hebrew names, right? And you follow the laws, right? And they're like, yeah. And I was like, well, isn't there one of the 10 commandments, one of the main laws, not to actually the very first law, the most important law is to love God and that there is no other God, right? So that's the most important law, to love God, right? So that's a complete act of disrespect, and not only that, but to take that's taking the Lord's name in vain, because vain means like it don't matter, like, oh, it don't matter what I call him. I'm gonna call myself. They all had Hebrew names, but I ain't gonna call on the Lord's Hebrew name. They basically say you can call on Yo Play
That's
Yogurt
like
and
you
get to the
telling
kingdom.
your elder. That's like,
Yo, for yogurt.
Yeah,
that's like you
that's how
telling
they do
your
it.
elder though, like, hey you, or what's up, bud? Like if you went there and told your grandma, your grandpa, hey bud, what's up?
Yeah, that's just.
Nah, they ain't gonna play that. They're old school.
And then to have the nerve to call the Most High.
Yeah.
Elder.
And Jesus goes back
Right.
to earthly pig, really.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's an insult.
It's a
Christian,
Greek-
the
it's
word
a-
Christian is an insult.
Greek word.
Yeah. But if you call on his name, and what's actually spiritual is that you got your head covered. As you're hearing the shoot, you got your head covered.
That's how it's supposed to be.
That's how it's supposed to be.
According to the book of Corinthians, that women are supposed to have their head covered when they're dealing with the storm.
Yeah.
When you're praying, you gotta have your head covered.
Because your head goes back to your husband. And if you have a husband or not, you belong to somebody through the spirit. And actually when you come up, it talks about angels. The word angel means messenger. These are angels right here that you stand with giving the message of the good news. So it says for a woman when she comes before the church, which is the gathering of the Israelite men, you come to the head. That's why you're probably understanding is because you did come up so humbly. You know, because like he said, it's written before the earth was even formed.
Yeah, the reason why I asked is because I think personally, my own personal belief, I think there's something to take with every religion. And I think
Well, the reason why is because every religion started with that Bible because we were in slavery. And that Bible, we spread it everywhere we went.
Yeah, actually, if you go back into history, you see that this was the first belief of monotheism, being the belief of one power.
I watched something on the History Channel, not a History Channel, but I do recognize that the Bible is the original holy book.
But it is actually very on point because literally you could get the slave trade out of there. You'd actually get everything that's going to us right now, specifically right now. You can't do that with any other book. You know, a book might talk about the people in its time, but this book talks about us. Yeah, and this is the curses are on everybody because they're so-called Negroes in London, right? And they're under the same curses as us in this land. Yeah. So this book is universal for all Israelites, and the Israelites are the so-called Negro, Latino, and Native American Indian. We're the same people, but through captivities we have lost our color. And actually, the way they kept their power was they turned each other. Like, do you ever see that movie Kunta Kinte? Remember he was changing his name? Roots. Yeah, sorry. He was whipping Kunta Kinte though. Who was whipping him though?
The white man.
No,
Or no?
it was another black man.
Really?
That's how they
Oh,
create
yeah.
division.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it makes, and even now you see that with, because I mean, even in more modern cultures, oh, team light skin to dark skin, but right now we all recognize that we're humans.
Yeah.
And
But
that
what
we
does
all
the word
came from
human
same way.
mean? The word human means colored male.
Really?
Hue meaning colored, man meaning male. So there are certain people that are not human. And it's the Edomite.
Well, I'm saying human as in my mind, just
A person race, like a people.
of people.
Yeah.
I think. in
But
my
see, that's
heart-
through the feminism of this nation that taught us that. Because see, how do you keep a slave in order? Especially a warrior. See, our people were warriors. You know? So how do you tame a warrior? You got to make them effeminate. And that's where you get them.
Do you think that effeminate people can
Oh,
go
It's not.
Yeah,
They're
you're
not
having a
welcome
deep
in the
conversation
kingdom.
over there.
I know so.
wanna
because
grab,
it's an abomination.
You're holding something wrong.
Men are to be men, women are to
You want
be
to grab a
women.
loop?
Women
One
are
and start at
to help men,
67.
but they're not like laborers. You're not supposed to put a yoke on your wife and make her pull the trowel.
Yeah.
She's for sex. That's what it's for, comfort. When a man went to war, there was two things that Israelite men did. We didn't work out. Working out came from the Greeks, from the gymnasiums. What we did was we had many wives, and sex is exercise. And then war. And those are the two things that we did for athletics. You know, with sex and war.
Do women go to heaven?
Devin, under a man, under their husband.
So if you're not, so if you're a woman and you're not married, you wouldn't go to heaven?
No, there's a place for them, but it's according to the Spirit, because Yahweh Hashem Yahshai already elected them, and they're going to be part of this
But
1/3 or 2/3,
but at the end of the day, all of Israel is going to be in heaven.
all of them. But
All
the
right.
2/3 are going to catch a destruction, a death on this side.
Here.
It's either going to be, it could be the nuclear fire, or it could be a sword, it could be whatever.
Just
you know?
just look into the videos, because like earlier, Salaki, brother,
no, brother.
earlier we were talking about the first and the second death, and the second death is what's going to happen unto these.
Yeah.
Right.
What's the second death?
2/3 of Israel, and that's going to be nuclear fire, and that second death, that's what's going to happen, and 2/3 of our people are going to be destroyed in it too.
'Cause
But
the
they're going to
2/3
come back in the kingdom.
Because the 2/3 are considered heat.
Basically, the fire is the best cleaning element, right?
Yeah.
So the first
that's
death-
what the Holocaust meant. But
Yeah.
you know what Holocaust
Yeah,
means?
the
It means
word-
the cleansing by fire.
Yeah. But
what
you
I
know what?
named
You
that
know
real
that they
estate.
weren't the real Jews, though, right? They're Jewish.
Yeah.
Well, do you know that they weren't even starving them over there? They had typhus. Typhus is a disease that makes you lose your fat. Then you lose your muscle.
Yeah, you can look that up. I just was reading a news article about that. That was
Yeah.
talking about a British woman who was she was trying to help some of those Khazars.
Yeah.
And they ended up putting her in a concentration camp, and she caught the sickness of typhus,
Typhus.
and she became all frail, and
Because
she
if
ended
you're
up dying.
starving, if you ever see kids in Africa,
Yeah.
their bellies blow. They don't shrink.
Yeah.
Yeah, they weren't starving them. Actually, the last, give me that sign right there, that last one. The last speech that Hitler gave was, the reason why he started killing the Jewish was because he knew that they were following a so-called Negro race, a people, a religion. And that's why he started killing them. He said America stole the jewels of God. Who are the jewels? The Israelites. Remember the 12 tribes? The priests wore the chest plate, and each tribe had a stone. We're the apple of his eye. We are his jewels.
So you think Hitler killed the Jews because they weren't honoring the true Jew?
He was a Jew.
Huh?
He was a Jew.
Hitler?
Yeah, he was a Jewish, Slovakian. Jewish.
We're not Jews.
Ish means like but not right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you're
Well, he was a Jewish, but he found out the truth that he wasn't a real Jew.
Well, technically, Jews-
And that's why he started killing the Jewish to exterminate. He seen them as race traitors. But that's why he also went after the Aryan race, which is the white skin, blonde hair, and blue eyes, because he knew what time it was. He knew it was the kingdom of Esau. He knew this was Esau's rule. So he was trying to build an Edomite army to rule this
So you
world.
think that Hitler was under God's rule when he
Yeah,
killed
all things happen. There's no free will. There's no such thing as free will. In fact, he creates good, he creates evil. He created light, he created darkness. He kills and makes alive. He wounds and heals. You know, so yeah, he does everything. A person that sticks their own gun to the head is done. Yahweh Hashem Yahushai is the one that did that. A person that blows their own brain out, hangs himself, Yahweh Hashem Yahushai did that. He made him do that.
Yeah, that's going back to the book of Deuteronomy. It says he kills and he makes alive. You
He
know,
wounds
so
and
he
heals.
does everything. He
Well, you
controls
think
everything.
that what Hitler
You
did-
come in right here, he did that.
Then if nothing is of free will, then I ask, men who are of feminine nature are just people who you say are heathens, wouldn't that also be the will of God?
Yeah,
Yo.
because he decides to destroy him.
That's that.
Romans 9
Romans 9.
Why would he make someone just to destroy them?
to show his
That-
power.
Hey, that's exactly Romans 9.
Yeah.
It tells you everything you're asking. It tells you
Yeah,
that.
and it means because really what it is to demonstrate his power. Remember
That's why
Pharaoh?
he brought up Pharaoh.
Pharaoh was it was like America, it was a
destroyed.
superpower, right? Well, Israel didn't overthrow it. It was a superpower, and even in the Egyptian writings, they have it that they knew that it was a superpower because all their gods were like. Remember, there was the water turned to blood.
Yeah.
Well, they believed there was a god for the water. But
They thought there was a God for everything, but there's
in
one
fact,
God.
when
that's
they
that-
ate the
each one got
lamb,
It's that polytheism.
yeah, when he ate the lamb, they worshipped the lamb. Right?
Yeah.
That's why the shepherd was an abomination to the Egyptians. And they had to live separate from him. They didn't like because we ate the lamb and they worshiped the lamb.